Well, hey fans, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Spoilers, and today we're talking spoilers for Solo, a Star Wars story. Now, Solo, I enjoyed this movie. I didn't think it was the end-all be-all of Star Wars movies, whether they be episodic or just in this little anthology series that they're doing. I believe I gave it a 6.9 over on the blog. But overall, I did enjoy it. I did have some issues with it, and I'll get in those into a moment. But overall, basic plot of the story is Han Solo's growing up on Corellia, and he longs to, get a ship and journey throughout the stars with his girlfriend Qi'ra. And, he does go out. And actually, pause. I'm so sorry for getting this review up so late. I mean, I'm getting like John Flickster over here, but it's been very, very busy for me, and it's just hard to find the time to film nowadays. But I'm going to try and get on a more regular schedule for you guys. But yeah, Han Solo is trying to get off Corellia with his girlfriend Qi'ra, and eventually he does, but Qi'ra gets left behind. He ends up actually joining I keep thinking about the First Order, but the Imperial Army, and that's actually find out that's how he got his last name Solo, because he was alone. And it's interesting, I always just assumed his last name was Solo, but it turns out no, the Imperial Army gave him that last name, and the fact that he stuck with it all those years just kind of shows that he doesn't care what his last name is, but it became his moniker, kind of like how, like Jango Fett or the Dread Pirate Roberts, and Dread Pirate, that's a different franchise, but, not even a franchise, but, a name is just a name, and it is what you make it, and he kept that name. It's the name that he gave to his son, Ben Solo, so even though he got it from the bad guys, it's still his name. So I kind of, like, oh, that's silly, but it wasn't too much taken out of film. I enjoyed it. We found out how he got his name. But he ends up leaving with Beckett and his crew, who Woody Harrelson is great as Beckett in this film, and he joins them and meets Qi'ra again. She's off, and it's all about a heist. Not really much happens in the film. The film is a heist, no real bad guys, which can be fine in a film, but like overall, it's not that it's muddled or anything. It's just kind of like cookie cutters, like we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. Star Wars, give us money, and that's probably why it didn't do so well. Standouts for me, Alden Ehrenreich. He's great as Han Solo. He does his own take on the role. It is a younger Han Solo. I believe this movie actually takes place 10 years before we meet him in episode 4. So that can explain why he looks a little different, why he's more optimistic. Personally, I would have gone with Anthony Ingruber. In The Age of Adeline, he played the younger version of Harrison Ford's character, even sounds just like him.
Alright, all it needs is a push start. Just lose the brake, I'll give you a push, you pop your clutch, and you'll take off.
And I know we don't want to try and have somebody fit into that bubble of being like Harrison Ford. We want to take risks. Now, risks are good. Personally, I would have taken a risk with the story, done like this crazy story set in between episode 3 and 4, but had somebody who looks just like Harrison Ford, so it doesn't take the audience out of it too much. It's pretty much like, oh, he's trying to be Harrison Ford. We get it. Nobody's going to replace Harrison Ford, but it's good to have somebody try. So I would have done that, personally. Emilia Clarke as Qi'ra now. She's Han Solo's girlfriend. She's actually pretty cool in the role. She's wicked awesome. She's a formidable combatant. Her backstory, since it's been like 3 years since she's last seen Han, and when they meet again, things have changed for her. She's joined the Crimson Dawn now. She's done some terrible things, and I'll get more into Crimson Dawn in a minute. But like, I enjoyed her character. I want to see more of her character, but we may not. And in the introduction of her and their relationship, it's like it lessens his relationship with Leia more. So it's like, hey, by the way, I really loved this girl way back when I was young, but forget about her. Let's just love you. She's not going to come up ever again. So either she's died or they had a falling out. And we may or may not ever find that out. And if it's in a book, I'm not going to find out because I don't read that expanded universe crap. I'm sorry. It's just, I want to be able to get my meat from a movie and not have to go to a book. If I were reading like Star Wars comic book, sure, but I don't want to get my meat from a book and get light fluff from a movie. I want the meat in the movie. Donald Glover as Lando, great job, terrific casting. He's like a younger version of Billy D. Williams, but he kind of does his own thing with the characters, because when you watch him, it's like, yeah, this is Lando, but he's also like got a little bit of a Captain Kirk vibe, which I really enjoyed, and I do want a Lando spinoff movie. I can, if they can do it. I mean, it's not like a Lando spinoff movie is not like we need that, but it's kind of like I want that, and if they decided to do it, I want to see where they go with it. And I actually tweeted out like it needs to be written by Donald and Stephen Glover and directed by Hiro Murai. That would be my greatest Lando movie. Oh, and the soundtrack needs to be done by Childish Gambino. So Donald Glover, Stephen Glover, Hiro Murai, Childish Gambino. Put those 4 people on that movie, and I'm in. But yes, Woody Harrelson is Beckett. He was great. He is more like the Han Solo you know in Episode 4 and beyond. He acts like that, so that's where Han Solo picks up his mannerisms from. And it's funny, at the end of the film, Han ends up killing Beckett, because Beckett's a smuggler. He'll do anything he needs to do to survive. And Han ends up killing him in the middle of the speech and shooting him first, so Disney can retcon the whole, well, Han does shoot first. It's like, yeah, it makes sense, but come on, we don't care. Don't give us just that hopeless fan service for no reason. You know, and Paul Bettany was good as Dryden Vos as well. Too bad he died. I would have liked to see more of his character, and it's strange the way he died. Like, he's killed by Qi'ra and Han in that fight, but Beckett like could have easily shot him but didn't. Is just the writing, I don't think was the best overall. It was great, it was fine, but yeah. But Dryden Vos, pretty cool guy. But I really enjoyed that. The relationship between Han and Lando was pretty cool. How he got the ship and how Lando's a scoundrel still in this movie, like cheating in games and whatnot. So we got to see the game where Han actually wins the ship. Millennium Falcon, or Falcon, however you want to call it. You know, it's still the same. We actually get to see the Kessel Run, which I don't know what I really imagine the Kessel Run being in my head. Actually, okay, I do. When I watch the old movies, it's like, that's the Millennium Falcon and complete the Kessel Run under 12 parsecs. It's like, really? I thought this was going to be like some kind of race. Like, you know, like, I forget what the name of the cloud is, but to get to Kessel, you got to go through this route. And I expect it to be like some kind of race between ships through there, and the first person to win, you know, gets like some kind of major prize. But no, it's just like they were leaving Kessel and they had to unload the beryllium or whatever that stuff was, and they like cut through the stuff and they upload L3, and I'll get to L3 in a moment, but they upload her into the ship's navigational system, and they make it out safely, like barely alive, and they destroy the Millennium Falcon, which is where it goes from looking all super nice and sleek to looking all beat up and rough like you see it in the other movies. But like that's all it was, and it turns out it was like under 13 parsecs actually. But Han's like, not if you round down. And you also thought like people would, like the people on the ship were there to witness it, but I thought like a lot of people would have witnessed it to know. But it's like he's spreading his own rumor about himself, like it's under 13, less than 12. Like he's slowly building himself up, which is kind of funny that they did that, but at the same time I was like, what? So there's that. Thandie Newton portrays Val. She's in Beckett's crew, and Jon Favreau portrays Rio. And I assumed they were going to be in this movie more than they were, but they were really in it only in the beginning before they both died unceremonious deaths. I felt like, especially with what happened afterwards. Rio was a little easier. He got shot and he ended up not making it. But Val blowing herself up, I didn't care for. I really wanted more of her character. She was going to die. I wanted her to die somewhere actually doing something, not like her dying to try and get that fuel made no sense, like, because Beckett was going to get all the money if they even did succeed, or Beckett and Han and Chewie. So I didn't think her death really mattered to me. And I can't really forget about Chewie. Chewie is great in this movie. You actually find out that Han can actually speak Chewbacca's language. So he goes like, and like he's talking to him, and has the subtitles. He's like, so that's why in the movies when he's just like talking, so Chewbacca can understand, I guess, whatever space English is. He can understand that, but he chooses not to speak it, even if he can. But Han, when he's just talking English to him, and Chewie says something back to him, he's like, "I'll shut up" or whatever, because he knows what he's saying. He actually knows the language. So I guess other people, whenever they speak to Chewie, they understand the language too. They probably learned it. So that was a great reveal. That was one of the better ones for me. And also how he meets him, and turns out, I guess, Chewie will eat people. Like, they were feeding him, like, deserters and whatnot, and there were dead bodies down there, so I guess Chewie will eat you. I mean, we saw him eat those little puffin-looking things in the third movie, or second movie of The Last Jedi, that terrible movie. Not terrible, it's just not a great Star Wars movie. Good sci-fi movie, though. But, I do think this movie tried to be a little too much fan service, and for those who have seen it, you do know Darth Maul is in it. He's the head of Crimson Dawn. And the way he's introduced in the film is fine up until a point. It's like, Qi'ra, why she like closes the blinds made no sense to make the room darker, but she calls him, like, now that her boss is dead, she wants to pretty much take his position, and like Darth Maul comes up, and everybody who knows Star Wars is like, oh, that's Darth Maul. Oh, yep, definitely Darth Maul. There are the metal legs. It's him. And he's talking, and then at the end, he like summons his lightsaber and cuts it on. So let's do this saying, hey guys, this is Darth Maul. In case you didn't know, look at the metal legs. This is really Darth Maul. Okay, one last time. Dual-bladed lightsaber. This is definitely Darth Maul. It's like, just to show her his lightsaber, did he really need to cut it on? It could have just been him in like a cloak, and we would have known it was Darth Maul. But like, it was just like over the top and silly, him igniting the lightsaber, and it makes it now that every Star Wars live action theatrical release movie has had a lightsaber in it. The constant was that R2-D2 and C-3PO have been in every movie. They're not in this movie, but a lightsaber has been in every movie now. So it can't be Star Wars without a lightsaber, apparently. Another standout character of mine would be Enfys Nest. I love this character. She was great. And yes, she is a she. She's badass. She has that cool mask and that blade. I wanted more of her, barely in the movie. And I don't want her to have her own standalone movie, but if they ever make that Boba Fett movie, put her in it. I need more from this character. Enfys Nest she's really cool. I like her whole look, her whole design, mask on and off. More of her would be great. So, of course, this is a Star Wars movie, and I have to update my rankings for those live-action Star Wars movies. But still clocking in at number 1, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Best Star Wars movie ever made, in my opinion, point blank. It is so great. Those lightsaber sequences are amazing. Clocking in at number 2, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. It's the first Star Wars movie I ever saw in a theater, and it was one that really made me fall in love with Star Wars, so that's still number 2 for me. Number 3, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Very dark sequel. It was better for me upon revisiting after watching the original trilogy, so I did like that one. Number 4, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. The worst of the prequel trilogy, in my opinion, but still pretty great. That's where we get to see Anakin lose his arm, him actually fall in love with Padme. Just, dialogue could have been better, yes. He killed all those sand people. But, yes. Number 5, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Really enjoyed that. Kind of wraps up that trilogy in a nice way. You get to see the redemption of Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. That's that. Number 6, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. the one that started it all for me. I remember seeing it when I was very young on Fox, and I just didn't care for it. But upon revisiting as an adult, I do understand it and like it better watching the whole series. But that's that one for me. Number 7, Rogue One. Really enjoyed that movie. Really enjoyed that ending, seeing Darth Vader be a badass and cut down all those rebels. Man, I still think it would have been better if it was the main cast, but great scene. Number 8 for me is going to be Star Wars: The Force Awakens. A very safe movie. J.J. Abrams, I thought, did a good job, but I was expecting the follow-up to be better. It wasn't, and we'll get, what the end of my list is. Number 9, Solo. Solo is not the worst Star Wars movie ever made for me. Comes in number 9, great cast, fun story, just a little pointless to me in opinion. And as we all know, the worst Star Wars movie ever made at number 10, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Rian Johnson, I guess technically you let at least 40 to 50% of us down. Some people loved it, some people hated it, some people in the middle. I just thought it was a good sci-fi movie, a terrible Star Wars movie. So that not going to get into that in this video. That is my updated list for the ranking of the Star Wars films. Take it, leave it, do whatever you want with it. Leave comments below, etc. But what else about Solo? Try and wrap this up. Like I said, overall it was a fun story, fun plot. I feel like I want a little more from the backstory. I'm not gonna say I hated it. I just thought it was normal. I didn't leave super excited to want more Han Solo movies. Like I wasn't like I need to see a sequel. I kind of want to see a sequel, kind of, because with Qi'ra just being out there, it just doesn't sit well with me, especially with him falling for Leia. I need her to die or something. I want to see more of the underworld. I kind of think they need to have an overarching plan. I think Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi are the next Solo story movies they're working on. So I kind of think Han Solo should kind of sit his own. I don't need to see like Han Solo 2 or 3, but I kind of would love for that character to appear in another standoff. So if you make like a Bounty Hunters movie, just bring in Han Solo, bring in Boba, bring in Qi'ra, and like wrap up the storyline that way instead of trying to make like 3 Han Solo movies. Just do something else and have these characters pop in. You can check out the full review of Solo on my Stardust account. I am a superstar over there. Please give it a like, follow, just download the app. It's very enjoyable. Also got my reviews up. Fahrenheit 451, so movie, again, just like this one, but this Solo's actually better than that. And Westworld, of course. I'm doing all my reviews of Westworld. Get on that app, check them out. You can find the full written review of Solo over on the blog, flicksfrog.wordpress.com. Head over there. I got a lot of other articles, reviews, and videos for you to check out as well. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+. You can also find us now on Reddit. And like with anything, please follow, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We can use more of all of that. We could definitely use more followers, help grow this channel. Tell your friends about it, share these videos, do everything you can to make this channel grow. The next video I'm putting up is actually a movie date. It's been a while since we've done that. For those who've been watching, you've kind of heard my speech slur a little bit. I have braces. And to correct my crooked teeth, adult braces. They're not that bad. But we haven't done movie dates in a while, but I can finally eat a little better now. I have spacers in. So it's a double movie date of Upgrade and Tag. So head over to the channel, check that out as well. I have those reviews up with it. The next Let's Talk Spoilers is probably going to be God of War. I really want to get that one done. That's an amazing game. I'm going to try and get that one out before I put out anything else in the Let's Talk Spoilers front. And I think that will be all for today. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.